Hi everybody, welcome to Between the Realms for the full snow moon of February. I'm Carol. Might be entirely brand new to you if you found your way to this channel for the very first time, and this is the video you queued up to just see what the heck was going on. So welcome to Between the Realms. Thank you to those who have returned to see another video or are keeping up with them as they go along. It's been an entire year and one or two videos. Quite an interesting thing I found myself drawn to in addition to the other creative pursuits I've had over the years. And this has been one that's been really a lot of fun, and people have been so good to let me know they're enjoying them, finding meaning in them, or whatever it is, entertainment, some wisdom here and there, as Between the Realms is devoted to this connection of we have with our beautiful Earth home, with Gaia, with Mother Earth. So on I go, learning more all the time, and enjoying it as it carries us forward, oftentimes connected with the full and the new moon. So here we are, last night, no matter where it is you call home, the beautiful full moon in Virgo, called the snow moon, at least in the northern hemisphere, this incredible, beautiful grandmother moon in all her brilliance shining down upon us. And it was especially bright here as we are between the realms of winter and in a serious countdown to the first day of spring. But plenty of snow. We have not seen bare ground in this neck of the woods for, somebody calculated it was back before Christmas. So we're in the Gregorian calendar. I almost didn't come out with that one, right? In the Gregorian calendar, here we are at the end of February, 8 weeks with a little bit more depending on the full weeks or the part weeks, moving into the third month of 2021. So I bring to you a bit of commentary that has kind of presented itself as wanting to be shared with you, and keeping each other company in this almost full year of being, so many of us, in a sheltering in place, out a little bit and then back again, the rollout at last of vaccines that will help us all to be in safety and in coming out the other side of this. We so hope. I want to mention something because in what became videos to just help people go onward with their own journey through the pandemic, myself included in all of that, is working on these videos was always a lifter of my spirits too. But the many ways we've reached out to help one another in the year, and something that so delighted me as I was having my lunch today and catching up with a few things on the internet. Yet another, and I'm looking at the picture of it here on my laptop, of a group who learned the dance to that wonderful song, Jerusalema. Jerusalema. I'm not sure which is the right pronunciation, but I know you know what it is I'm referring to. And this one, all of them make me teary. I just love how this is, I'm getting goosebumps as I say this to you, is something that was created just about a year ago by an African. I want to quick scroll down and just make sure I have this right. It began in February 2020. I'm glad I'm mentioning this here. A group in Angola. Oh, goodness, I will not say their name right. I'm just going to leave it at that. They, it was written by this wonderful Master KG and sung by, vocalized by, again, NOMCEBO. And it just has taken off and gone all over the world. It raises people's spirits, and every time it is learned and shared. And this latest one that I'm seeing was just recorded by a group of nuns who live in a monastery in County Dublin. Um, Absolutely amazing. I'm going to share the link in the notes that come below this video so that you can enjoy it too, and it will raise your spirits. Guaranteed, as a one-time commercial had the pronunciation of that word. So on we go. I have time to time done what I continue to do because I like to see where it is we're going with these videos. It's an adventure for me. And once again, I did a drawing of tarot cards, if you've been following these videos. And then my question for the cards was just, where are we in the journey of Between the Realms? So of the cards that came up, this one, and they're from the Glastonbury Tarot, it's the Fool. It's the first card in the major arcana of the traditional tarot, and it is Percival pictured here. It's the Glastonbury Tarot. I love that it came up. I won't read all the cards. Maybe sometime I'll find a way to share more of that. The other cards were for the benefit of discussion. The Ten of Swords, a card of rebirth. It's pretty indicative of what we're up to, I really think, back in this Wheel of the Year. The Four of Chalices, emotion. And the card that was the card at the bottom was the Emperor, King Arthur. I rather like that. It's certainly gives me some feedback about what it is I'm up to here, sharing these with you. But the Fool card, to bring this back to you, Percival in the Arthurian legends, let me just have him come up and look at you here. The Fool card is a time of new beginnings, the first step on the journey of self-discovery. In a reading, the Fool shows that you need to trust, to take a risk, to have a fresh start and leave behind past patterns of thinking or being that have held you back. The year in which we have all come through, one in which we certainly have needed perseverance and digging deep for the resources we need to whatever the huge challenges, all of that. But we have come through an entire year. And in the time, I've thought of this time and time again, what was offered to us for the most part. And there were people who never had the opportunity, as possibly the majority of us did, to step back, whether we wished to or not, and to have a time of, if you allowed it to be, a time of reflection and inner seeking, certainly stillness. There are a lot of us who live on our own. I remember reading an article sometime around, I think it was Thanksgiving, and people were beginning to wonder how much they could be free to travel and that kind of thing. And to get together safely. I mean, I'm not even going to go there because we all know the backs and forths about all of that. But there was an article in the New York Times, the Sunday issue, and it was talking about how safely to gather and be together at Thanksgiving. And it gave the percentage of American households where just one person lived, and I am one of those people. It was a staggering percentage. I am going to say it was at least 25%. So those of us who are on our own, we've had to be maybe extra resourceful, and trust me, at times it has been a challenge beyond what I expected it to be. I want to invite you to, along this theme of persistence and finding a way to endure this and to come through it whole, body, mind, and spirit, I want to invite you to visit, and I'll put the link below in the notes, to my website, Golden Spiral Journey. It's been with me a long time in terms of a place on the interweb to let people know what it is I do. And I have recently gotten back to what was central to it, which was my writing. And you'll find when you get there, and I'm really proud of how the homepage works, you will see the newest of my blog posts for Notes of an Earth Pilgrim that features this photograph. And the reason I'm showing it to you, that this family assembled here is of my my grandparents and cousins of the Skirmerhorns part of my family. And I dedicated the column to them and to my legacy of endurance that I know I inherit from them, how it is we endure these times, and reflecting on the times they themselves endured. I want to mention who's over here behind me, and I'll get to her in just a minute because we are between the realms. So you may enjoy going and finding what's there. Maybe looking down at some of the other posts that over the years have been Notes of an Earth Pilgrim. So that is something that has kept me going. I know you found your own means of, or your own resources that have supported you and sustained you through this year. Congratulations to us all as we are with one another in this, me making the video, you in the video viewing. I've made other videos in terms of, let's see. So my thoughts are kind of swinging back and forth here, acknowledging what it is we've gone through, honoring where we are in the present, because that is an incredibly useful way of conducting one's life and continuing to move forward. Okay, I'm just going to leave it there because my few notes that are here. Oh, yeah, okay. Pardon me. I knew this wasn't going to be, this would be one of the more organic videos. So I'm going to leave it at that and go on with it here. What you saw, if you watch the videos, or if you're new to them now and go back through the list and the title's trying to decipher what that video might be about, what I understood about last year's videos was my offering ways of coping, of help, of ways that you could find nourishment from nature. That's essentially what they came down to, and how to relate to nature, because that was behind the establishment of what it was I was going to do in Between the Realms. I talked in particular as the year began and we got away from the snow, and for those of us in the snowy climates, were able to be outside, but no matter where you were, going back to the fact that a lot of us are in it by ourselves most of the time, that we could find companionship in what is in nature, in particular, cultivating the friendship of a tree. If that's something that you had never done before, it was something I encouraged off and on the entire year. I'm looking at something to do ahead in these months of attuning more to the, I mentioned the Gregorian calendar, and we're 8 weeks into 2021, and we're entering the third month. But the structure of all that is something called the wheel of the year, the naturalness of the flow of the seasons. So although it looks like the dead of winter out there, underneath the roots are stirring to bring, well, I even saw when I drove around yesterday, somebody was tapping maple trees, a little optimistically, but it was just me driving going, yes! So we're closely coming to that as well. Finding ourselves in the natural rhythm of nature, of Gaia, something you're going to hear me talk about more as the year goes along. And what else did I say? Oh, yes, and something that, and I'm looking forward to offering this. We're coming up in March on what is the first day of spring. And there's St. Patrick's Day ahead of that, so we can have some fun with that as well. See what video I can work on around that. But I'm going to be doing something, I hope, stay tuned for details. It will be a live Equinox event. I'm not quite sure what form it's going to take or how it is I'm going to do it, but I have it in mind, and I look forward to doing that. Talk about spring, telling you about this beautiful petunia here. This is a plant that was in my box, or not a box, oh gosh, on the porch, one of the plants that survived the summer, and I was bringing a few plants in to have in the winter, and this petunia has survived and has lived in my window here and is blooming again. Talk about hopefulness. I just think that's fabulous. So I am going to offer you one last thing for this week. Endings and beginnings being something that is sort of a theme that came to mind as I was thinking about this video. So as I move to saying goodbye to you for this time, I want to honor the life of a gentleman, a poet, who passed away this week at the age of 101, Lawrence Ferlinghetti. Lawrence Ferlinghetti was a poet in the Beat generation of poets. Allen Ginsberg and his poem Howl might ring a bell for you, and Lawrence Ferlinghetti may as well. He was, and there are wonderful tributes out there for him. I would suggest, and if I can get a link to it, the one they did on National Public Radio. But I was very moved by hearing of his passing and the vibrant life that he lived. And so I want to offer one of his poems. They were cutting edge, to say the least, ushering in the era of modern poetry and Allen Ginsberg and all he did. And another day I'll tell you how it is I met him once when I was a student at Potsdam State University. That was quite an incredible experience. So I'm going to have him see us out today, Lawrence Ferlinghetti. And you will hear the modernness and what it is he had to say in terms of the poetry who came before. I would say for sure a poem that is right out there in front. But anyway, and when that concludes, I'll bid you a quick goodbye. But thank you for joining me and being with me here on this vibrating energy of the snow full moon. Another night of its beauty for sure. As the night before and the night after, the moon to our human eyes looks just about the same fullness, and the energy of it is certainly the same as well. So enjoy that as well. Lawrence Ferlinghetti's poem, and I'm not sure it's named. Sometimes it's simply the first line. Yeah, here it is. Away above a harbor full of caulkless houses, among the Charlie Noble chimney pots of a rooftop rigged with clotheslines, a woman pastes up sails upon the wind, hanging out her morning sheets with wooden pins. Oh, lovely mammal, her nearly naked breasts throw taut shadows when she stretches up to hang at last, the last of her so whitewashed sins. But it is wetly amorous and winds itself about her, clinging to her skin. So, caught with arms upraised, she tosses back her head in voiceless laughter and in choiceless gesture, then shakes out gold hair. While in the reachless seascape spaces between the blown white shrouds stand out the bright streamers to kingdom come. Lawrence Ferlinghetti's poem. Others to be found in any search you could easily do on the internet. That one came to my attention and just wanted to be shared. I'm glad to do so here. Thank you for your life and all that you brought us, Lawrence Ferlinghetti. Blessings to you in the days ahead. I'm considering doing another video in a more literary fashion, as you'll find in the list of last year in my reading from my book, Answering Avalon's Call. So if you've yet to go find that, it's there waiting for you. Thanks so much. Take good care of yourselves and be well. Much love from Lightspring Glen.